So I think the Odyssey will be resonant until we figure out, until we've explored that story fully and everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be tomorrow.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Tell me what you remember.
A wife? A son.
And then what?
We won the war. Help me go home.
I'm Christine from Kino.dk in Denmark. Matt, I know you've been to Copenhagen.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, how you like it?
I love it. I love that city, and I've been in the middle of summer, which was incredible, and the middle of winter, which was also incredible. Very different.
Very different. So this is the third collaboration with Christopher Nolan for the both of you. How does the Odyssey compare or stand out compared to your previous collaborations with him?
It was harder. All the experiences were incredible. It's just so fun to work with him. But this was a very, very challenging movie because we shot it entirely in IMAX, and because of just the story is such an ambitious story to tell, and the scale of it was so big, the biggest movie I've ever been on. But then to do it all in the IMAX format was, it was very ambitious.
For me, just on a personal level, it was really cool because the first two experiences I had with Chris, it was before a lot of things had happened to me in my life that I now kind of feel like is my life. So I, hadn't, I'd just gotten married when I did Interstellar, but I wasn't a mom yet. And so there's just been so much growth in the 12 years since the last film. So I just felt like when I came onto set, all the things that I knew about Chris as a filmmaker, yes, but then also just as a person, as someone who has a family, I felt like I could understand him more deeply. And so I just felt like we shared a sense of humor this time about life that I didn't necessarily, that I hadn't developed yet, the first couple goes.
How much about a Nolan film do you need to know before you say yes to a role?
I mean, not much, he's I'm a huge fan and have been for most of my life, and when Tom got the call, I was already over the moon and just excited that he was going to be a part of this. And I definitely snuck over his shoulder and read while he was reading because I was so curious, but never in a million years did I even think about myself in that context. I was just really happy that this was going to be this experience for Tom, and then he came home one day from another meeting with Chris and was like, read the script again, but now think of this character. And I was like, you're joking, like you're actually lying right now. So it was cool, and then being able to read it with that in mind, and then meeting him, I think also to kind of what you were talking or asking before is like, I didn't know what to expect, and you, like you say, you try not to put on preconceived notions about people you don't know. But it was so pleasant to know that he was so easy to talk to. I felt like an hour into a conversation, I'm like, I'm just like having just hanging out, talking to Christopher Nolan about movies and film. And I asked him questions about some of my favorite movies of his, and like, how'd you do this and how'd you do that? And it was fun. It was a really lovely meeting, and I appreciated that.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, I don't think you need to know anything.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, all right.
Yeah. I was told that he wanted to talk to me about a role, and my agent emphasized that it wasn't an offer, that he just wanted to talk to me first, and that should the talk go well, then he might offer me a role. And so, but I went in being like, if the opportunity should present itself, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And so I said yes even before it was time to say yes.
And Matt, as you mentioned, I can't believe what you and your character go through in this film. What was the most physically or mentally challenging part of this film?
Oh man, it would be impossible to single one out. It was really challenging, but not just for me, for everybody. Like you know, all the guys who were with me and the whole Odysseus crew, like they were just everyone was just kind of up for it, and that really helped. There was a great kind of team spirit. Also, being out in the elements, the crew was right there. Chris was just as cold and wet as everybody else. So it felt in some ways more like an expedition than a movie a lot of the time, because we really were out in the elements, and we were all together and dependent on one another, and there's a great bond that formed, you know, between the whole team, because it was really hard what we were doing, and we were doing it because we wanted to try to do it. It was like we were all there for the same reason.
I think for me it was the physical sort of demand of it, which reminded me that I need to start taking better care of myself. But especially when you're working with someone like Matt, who, you know, his sort of athleticism was amazing. But yeah, that was really the main challenge for me, and it was a sort of an endurance test in that way, because there's just, you know, a lot to get through, and you got to go again and again and again, right? But there was a lot of camaraderie with us in our crew, and that really carried me through.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole physicality of having to be sight impaired, that was a big demand for me, because I was sight impaired 2 hours before that we started shooting all day long. So I couldn't see my phone, I couldn't read. I just had to be, you know, guided around to places, because the contacts that they put on my eyes were opaque and painted, so I couldn't see.
The long journey home, and especially the time spent with Calypso, it really made me think of Interstellar. So I was wondering, working on this film, has it made you reevaluate or think about how influential the Odyssey is to all of modern storytelling?
Yeah, it really did, actually. Rereading it, it's incredible how foundational it is to Western culture, Western literature. It's like every story. It's like the original story. So yeah, I thought about that a lot when I was kind of revisiting it.
And you know, we just did something kind of silly the other day, but it was really fun, where we had to guess if we were given a quote, and we had to guess if it was said by Homer the writer or Homer Simpson. And I didn't get a single one right. And it was amazing to think that, you know, a show like The Simpsons leans so heavily on the Odyssey. And I think that, you know, I definitely think I appreciated it more, and I came to realize that, especially in our community of storytellers, yeah, we're all just kind of, I don't know, just taking little parts of it and trying to expand it. But one of the reasons why I think the story is still so resonant is because we're still working on do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so I think the Odyssey will be resonant until we figure out, until we've explored that story fully and everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be tomorrow.
Any day now.
Any day now.
The eyes of Athena play a big part in this film. During your research and preparing for the role, what does her look, what does that mean to you in the reading of the film?
Well, you know, so much I think of Chris's, you know, kind of interpretation of this is to approach it from such a human perspective, and you know, I appreciated that, because I'm like, well, how do you know, embody a goddess or, you know, whatever. But I think when I think about the mythology of Athena, and you know, I learned that she was born from Zeus's head, already fully grown and with armor, and I don't know, I was like, well, how do I connect to that? And I thought about like being very young, starting in the industry, and like having to be like wise already, and being told as a kid, like, oh, you're so mature for your age, or, you know, you're like a little grown up, you know, and needing to grow very fast and needing to have a level of protection and armor around you for the very adult world you're entering to as a child. So I don't know, maybe that was my little emotional connection to her personally. But I found that, you know, interesting and moving, and And yeah, like I said, it's just approaching it from as human a perspective as possible, and I think that was already on the page for me.
Benny, I have to say, your performance in this film terrified me. I was so scared of him. How did you channel that level of intensity?
Well, there was a certain physicality, you know. I definitely tried to get stronger, and I did all that work necessary to do that. And then part of it was when you're wearing that armor and you're hidden, there's a certain part of you that takes that in, and you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of do anything I want, you know? You have all this power, and you're very kind of domineering over everything around you, and when you move, there's a certain way you have to move, so that things aren't flopping around and you can't move as you normally do. You have to carry yourself in a very specific way. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're going to bow down to me. And it's just a fact of what's going to happen. And you just kind of take that on. And it's weird because it's not necessarily, that's not my personality. But I did go into it thinking, this guy, yes, he's a bad guy, but he's doing what he thinks is right and what he thinks is necessary for the things he wants to achieve. And when he ends up in hell, he's like, well, how the hell did this happen? Yes, yes, there is obvious reasons, but he's like, hey, obvious. Yeah, it's but again, that's probably part of why you felt that way. Maybe is this guy doesn't think he's doing anything wrong.
Samantha, I read that your performance got a standing ovation at a cast and crew screening of the film. Wow, that's and your performance is amazing in this film. How did you approach carrying the weight that character carries in this film?
Well, I didn't think about that, and you mustn't as an actor. You just have to try and stay in the moment and not worry about any outside noise, especially if there's going to be a lot of pressure. People have opinions or their own, their own version of that. So you just, like in life, you just have to take care of yourself and just go day to day a little bit. If you worry about the past, and you can't worry about the future because it's not here, so you just be in that moment. And also, I'm at the age now where I just really try to enjoy it all, really enjoy that day, not to, just to enjoy being. And therefore, the gift of Cersei, to me, it's like to play a character like that. It's something I've dreamt about from being a little girl, to get to play somebody like that. And you don't, so it was just very, very special.
No one could stand between me and home.